So, hello everybody, thank you for being here. So, lots of you know me. I'm Debbie Ison. I'm a therapist and a therapy trainer, and I work with people in lots and lots of different ways. So, what I thought would be really nice to do today is just have a practical, very relaxing, very calming session where I give you some different techniques that you can use to reconnect with your whole self, to center you, to balance you out. Because when we tend to go through our lives, we're quite busy. We end up often rushing about from place to place, doing lots of different activities. We often have different roles in our lives where we are taking care of other people, whether it's our friends, whether it's our family, whether it's work responsibilities. And sometimes it can leave us a little bit fragmented or disjointed, and we're not even always aware of that because it can become the norm, and these things happen gradually. So I think it's really nice to have some different tools and techniques that you can either use, hello, come on in isolation, or that you can use in conjunction with each other just to bring you back to your whole self, to balance your mental, emotional, physical, energetic bodies. So that's what we're going to do. So with these exercises, obviously, please adapt them to what you feel comfortable with. I might invite you to stand up for some of them, but if you want to remain seated and do them, that's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by clearing some stagnant energy through the body, then building up nice positive energy and using that to take us into a nice, deeply relaxed state before finishing off with our intentions and driving us forwards. That's okay, come and have a seat. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to want to start releasing some of the things that get stuck. So that might be stuck emotions, it might be aches and pains that we've had in the body, it could be energetic blockages, and we're going to do something very simple for that. So if you'd like to stand up, you can. If you want to remain seated, that's fine also. But we're going to stand up, and something we're going to do is we're just going to stomp. So I want you to imagine almost like you're a soldier. You know when you're a child, you sing things like the Grand Old Duke of York and you'd march, but you're just going to stomp. And as you just stomp and just start moving your arms and your legs and your body, you might just shake out some of those stresses, some of those things you've been holding on to. There we go, then you can just sit. So we've just made a little start there. So now we've done our stomping, what we're going to do is we're just going to keep energising ourselves. And we're going to start by using our hands. So our hands are amazing. So on our hands and feet and on our ears as well, different parts of our body, we've got reflex points. So if you look at reflexology, if you look at things like acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, there's different areas in the body where energy flows. Energy flows through our whole system. So we would call those main energy channels meridians, and then there's the little energy channels nadis, and we want the energy to be flowing nice and smoothly. But sometimes because we have different emotional things going on, unhelpful thought patterns, injuries, that energy flow can be disrupted. So one of the nice ways we can connect to that energy in our body is through our hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to build that energy in our hands. So to start with, we're just going to become aware of our hands. Our hands are actually something we use every day. They're one of those parts of our body that we take for granted. We need them to write, we need them to unscrew things. Everything that we do, we use our hands, and actually they can be quite neglected. So we're just going to start by giving some love to our hands. So the first thing we're going to do is just place them together and just feel our hands. Just notice the hands, notice the sensations. There may be heat, there may be pressure, there may be tingling. And as you just notice your hands, and you're just going to open them up like a book. And I want you to just study your hands for a moment. So perhaps just notice all the fine lines and tiny details. You may notice different colouring or pattern on the hands or the fingers. And you're just going to welcome them and give thanks. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your hands, one of your fingers, and you're just going to trace, starting at your thumb, starting at the wrist, along the outside of each one of your fingers. So starting with your thumb, then up and round the top of the index finger and back down, and going around each one of the fingers. And just giving thanks for everything those fingers do to help you. And then moving down the other side of the hand and around the wrist. And then we're going to move over to the other hand and repeat the same. So once again, going to the thumb, gently drawing up the thumb and round and back down, and then going along each one of the fingers. Just tracing over them, and some of you might begin to notice heat or changes in sensations as you do that. It's going all the way around the fingers and then down around the wrist. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to just start to stroke and massage each finger. So we're going to take one of our hands and the thumb, and we're just going to take our fingers on our other hand and just start to do some gentle pulls and twists, just at a pressure that's comfortable for you, just to start feeling and noticing. So each one of the fingers connects to different organs in the body, and different emotions are connected to those organs. So just working through the fingers. And this is something you can sit and do anywhere. You can be in a cafe having a cuppa with a friend. You could be sat at home watching television. But it's just going to stimulate and just connect you with all parts of your body. But it's something you can do just by simply noticing your hands. And you might notice there's different sensations on different fingers and different hands. Some of them might feel very comfortable. Some of them might need to alter the pressure. Perhaps some of you that are very sensitive, you might even notice some blockages in those fingers or some discomfort that needs to be massaged and worked upon. So when you've done one hand, you just move along to the other fingers. So you may want to press other areas as well. There may be bits on the hands you want to press. It may be even that you want to interlock your fingers together and give them a squeeze. It's just taking the time just to really connect in and just setting that intention that by doing this, you're sending nurture and healing to every area of your body. And you might even want to sweep the palms of your hands and just dust off anything that's stagnant or stuck with the intention you're letting it go. And now we've activated the fingers, what we're going to do is we're going to use them to help us to shake away and get rid of anything that's stuck. And we're going to do that with our hands. So what I'm going to want you to do is I'm going to want you to think about anything that you no longer need in your life. So it may be things that are frustrating you, things that are irritating or bothering you. It may be annoying comments that people have said. And as you think about them, what we're going to do is we're going to put one of our arms out and we're just going to clench our fist. So we're clenching our fist as we breathe in. And what we're going to do then with our other hand is we're just going to place it on our shoulders. And when we breathe out, what we're going to do is we're going to set the intention that we're releasing all of those things that we no longer need. So what will happen is we'll take the arm, we're going to sweep that hand down the arm, and as we get to the hand, we're going to open the hand. And as we do it, we're going to make a whooshing sound, some sort of sound that we're expelling and releasing anything we don't need. So and then you might want to swap to the other arm and do it a few times. And then I know after I've done that a few times, my arms start to ache, so I need to just put them down and give them a little shake off. Now, as I do that, I start to notice the heat building up in my arms. I'm noticing different tingling sensations. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use those hands to help us to release some mental stress. So what we're going to do next is our exercise called the crown pull, and Donna Eden uses this a lot. So what we do is we take our hands and we're just going to spread them out almost like they're combs, and we're going to start at the centre of our forehead. And what we're going to do is we're just going to gently pull across the forehead and out to the temples. And this just helps to release mental stress and mental tension. And that just helps to provide that clarity. And as you just do this, then you're just going to keep working along the head, sort of working further up the forehead and going onto the top of the head. You're just going to keep working round. Actually, this is really good for things like headaches as well. And as you just come around the back of the head, you might want to carry on sweeping down over the shoulders. And just releasing and letting go. And then shake off your hands, anything that carried you don't no longer need. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build up the energy in our hands a little further. So we all have our own electromagnetic field. It's our aura. And this aura, when it's nice and strong, it helps us. It helps us so that we can repel other people's energy that we don't want. It helps us to keep healthy, which then helps us to fight infections. It boosts our immunity. But what we're going to do is we're going to connect into our own aura, into our energy field now. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your hands as close as they can together without them touching. And what you're going to do then, you might want to rub your hands. Some people like to rub them to feel it. Some people don't necessarily need to. And then you're just going to start pulsating your hands. And as you just start pulsating your hands, you may begin to notice a change in the sensations in between those hands. You may notice energy starting to build. Sometimes it happens very easily. Sometimes it takes a little practice. And as you just allow it to start building, perhaps you might like to start moving your hands around and creating a ball of energy. And as you just create that ball of energy, you then might like to start rolling it around and building it and making it bigger and stronger. And as you do that, you may like to put your intention into that. So I'm going to put the intention in for me today that this is going to provide me with healing and love. And as I've built it as big and as strong as I can, I'm then going to put that into my heart, that positive intention of just sending it in to my energy system. Now the heart chakra, the area where the energy is stored and distributed around the heart, connects us to our higher selves, our more spiritual selves, but also our earthly bodies. It connects all parts of us. It's also great to put energy into the heart area because that is how blood circulates around our body. From the heart, all the nutrients, all the oxygen gets distributed and it keeps us healthy. So by putting that positive energy into our heart area, it then sends it to everywhere in our being. So if we just build up that energy again now in our hands, what we can also do is sometimes we can actually see our own energy. So this is easy to do on a plain background, so you may or may not be able to do it here, but it's something that's quite fun to practice at home. So as you just build it up and just notice that energy, what you can do is then you can place your hands up above your eyes, and you would want a plane surface and just allow your eyes to relax a little bit. And as you just allow your eyes to relax, almost like you're a little bit sleepy, and just look and notice your hands, sometimes, if you're very lucky, you may start to notice an energy field around your hands. So you may notice different colours, you may notice a glow, you may notice movements. And that may or may not happen, but it's just a way of connecting with your energy field. And you can lower your hands down. So now that we've activated our hands, what we're going to do is we're going to use them to feel each part of our body to send love. So we're going to place our hands on different parts of the body just to notice, just to send positivity to each part of the body. So it might be that you want to say thank you to each part. So it might be that we place our hands on our heads and just thank the head for holding our minds, holding our brains, sending messages around the whole body to help us work and function. It may be giving thanks and gratitude to the eyes for being able to see clearly, or to our ears for being able to hear clearly, or for our mouths to be able to taste or speak. We may like to move our hands down our heads and cup them, gently supporting them, noticing the way that all that pressure is held up by our necks as we move our hands down, noticing the weight that sometimes we carry and the strength that we have to do that. Then taking the hands down towards the shoulders, noticing and becoming aware of any burdens, anything that we've been carrying, and just releasing and letting it go with love. Placing those hands on the arms, perhaps folding them over, and maybe even stroking along the arms, just releasing and relaxing the nervous system, just calming everything down within the system. Placing our hands over our hearts to give thanks for the love we have for ourselves and others, our ability to give and to receive. Moving down to the solar plexus, the lower ribs and upper stomach area, giving thanks for our ability to digest both our food and also our emotions, to process any raw emotions that go through us, and to help give us a balance of will. Moving down to the lower abdomen, just below the navel, to connect in with those deep personal relationships we have with others and ourselves, to all the organs in that part of the body, for allowing us to feel healthy and well. Moving down to the hip joints that help us to move forwards in our lives, to create balance and center. Perhaps moving our hands round towards our back as we place our hands on our back, just connecting with the strength and the support that we have both from within our internal system and others around us, the stability that we are given. Moving down to the thighs, those legs that are there to support us, that hold us up, recognizing that those legs take on an enormous amount of weight each and every day, carrying us through our lives. Moving down to the knees, and obviously working at a pace that's comfortable for you. So if you can't reach any of the parts of your body, that's absolutely fine. The calves, and then the feet. And as you just connect into the feet now, bringing yourself up to a comfortable position, it's then just allowing yourself to notice those feet and become grounded, connecting into the earth. Because often when we are so busy in our day-to-day lives, we get stuck in our heads in the busyness. But when we focus on grounding ourselves, we become aware of the present, which provides a sense of calm and clarity. So if you'd like to just focus on your feet and perhaps close your eyes, I'd like you just to focus on the soles of your feet and imagine some strong, sturdy roots coming out of the soles of your feet and just moving down into the ground, stabilizing you, connecting you and securing you, allowing you to become one with Mother Earth. And as you just allow these roots to move further and further into the ground, you feel more stable, more settled and more relaxed, allowing them to move all the way down to the Earth's magnetic core, where they begin to soak up the wonderful grounding Earth energies. Just allowing these energies now to come up through the roots and into the soles of the feet, moving up through the calves, the knees, the thighs, the buttocks and hips, the back, the stomach and up to the heart, where that energy comes to rest, being distributed throughout the whole system. And as you just focus on the chest area now, you just become aware of your breath. You may have already started to notice how your breath has been changing as you've engaged in these activities. And what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on a breathing exercise that just calms the body down even further. So what I'm going to invite you to do is open your eyes so you can observe me. We're going to do a breathing exercise which requires our hands once again. So you're going to take one of your hands and you're going to take your two fingers, almost like a gun shape, and you're going to place them on your collarbone on the same side. Now when you do this, it's really important that the other fingers are off the body so we're not creating a tiny circuit here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on our breath. So the breath pattern is going to be, I'll show you once. We're going to breathe all the way in, hold the breath, exhale half the breath, the remainder of the breath, breathe half a breath in, and then fully exhale. And then you're going to take those two fingers and you're going to tuck them underneath. So you're curling them underneath so that your knuckles are on that collarbone. And once again, you're going to breathe all the way in. Exhale half out. Exhale fully. Half a breath in. And breathe fully out. Opening the fingers up and moving to the other collarbone at the other side. Full breath in. Just pausing in between each bit. Half a breath out. Full breath out, half a breath in, and fully exhale. Tucking the fingers underneath on the same side of the body, breathing fully in, half a breath out, fully out, half a breath in, and exhale. Taking that hand down, and then we're going to repeat with the other hand, so taking the fingers up on the same side of the body as the fingers, full breath in, half a breath out, fully out, half a breath in, and exhale. Tucking the fingers underneath, full breath in, half a breath out, full breath out, half a breath in, and exhale fully. Opening the fingers and moving to the other collarbone. Breathing fully in, half a breath out, fully out, half the breath in, and exhale. And then tucking the fingers underneath. Breathing fully in, half a breath out, full breath out, half a breath in, and fully relax. And then just letting your arms come down to the side. So what this does is it starts to relax your nervous system, it starts to relax the whole of your body. And now that we've done that, we're going to connect into the 4 directions. So in different medicines around the world, we use the directions, we use the elements, we're connected to them. But we're going to use our bodies to do that. So once again, I'd invite you to stand up. And we're going to notice and feel what it's like to be in our bodies. Because often we take our bodies for granted. But when you listen, actually, we say our bodies, they belong to us and therefore we need to look after them. Just in the same way as we drive around in our cars, we need to fuel them and we need to maintain them. It's the same with our bodies. But we often forget that we occupy our bodies, we're inside them. So we're going to connect in with the different directions now. So first we're going to connect in lengthways. So I want you just to perhaps close your eyes and I want you to notice your length. And I want you to imagine your energy is expanding beyond your body, lengthways, getting taller and longer. And as you allow the energy to move into the ground, it grounds and anchors you, connecting you to the earth and the present. And as your energy extends way above you, it connects you to your divine source, your higher self. Just feel yourself extending, becoming taller, extending lengthways. And then now we're going to focus on width. So noticing the sides of your body, noticing the width of your body. And I want you just to start expanding your energy out from the center of your being, moving through all your muscles, all your cells, going out beyond your physical body through your energetic body, getting wider. As this connects you to community, connects you to people around you, connects you to nature. And then now you're just going to lean back into yourself. This may feel a little strange, but leaning into your spine. And as you lean back into yourself, noticing yourself moving back behind you, notice that strong pillar of support that you have, the inner strength and guidance within you. Really feeling that strength, that resilience, allowing it to become stronger. And then leaning forwards. And as you lean forwards, you're leaning into your purpose, what you're here to achieve within this lifetime, your aspirations, your goals, your visions, knowing that you are capable. And as you just connect into this now, I want you to set yourself a positive intention for your future. It may be for you to heal. It may be for you to achieve. It may be for you to fulfill your purpose. And I want you to project that intention in front of you. And then what I'd like you to do, and we're going to do this all together, is I'd like you to take your hands at the side of your body, and we're going to imagine we're rowing like on a rowing machine. I want you to lean back into your past to grab all the strengths that you've got, and then we're going to lean into the future, pushing forwards. And once again, rowing backwards, collecting all the positive resources and pushing them into the future, projecting out. And keep rowing, really building up that inner strength that's pushing you forwards. And you may notice that actually we're all doing this collectively together. So it's no longer just your energy. There's the energy of everybody in the room helping to guide and steer you forwards, helping the world around us. And we may even like to add in that additional suggestion that actually we're sending out into the world goodness. We're sending out peace and love. Just allowing that connection to grow and strengthen. And then when you're ready, letting your body come to rest. Perhaps placing your hands in the prayer position and giving thanks for your beautiful divine self. Giving thanks for your whole being, your mental self, your physical self, your emotional self, your energetic self, your higher self. And then just allowing yourself to relax. You may sit down if you wish. There we go. So those different exercises are things that you can use on their own, or you can put them into a little routine. They can be used at any order during the day, or when they pop into your mind. And I like doing things like that because they're simple. They allow you to come back into the present moment, and they are self-care. And when we can start to work on ourselves and look after ourselves on all levels of our being, it propels us forwards in our lives in a positive way. It allows us to be our more authentic selves, to speak our truth and be an expression of all that we can be, all that we have been, all that we're going to be. And that is really empowering because it allows us to be very present in the world around us, and it allows us to make a positive difference every day. So I hope you have gained some benefit from that. So thank you ever so much for your time. If anybody has got any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer them as best I can, or if anyone would like to have a chat with me, you're welcome to do so.